All right, let's talk about the SAT. If you're thinking about college, you know this test is a big deal. But here's the thing, it has completely changed. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the new digital SAT and talk about the actual scores you need to get into the country's best schools.
You know, it's the one question every single student asks. What's that magic number? What's the score that's going to open the door to my dream school? Well, stick around because we are going to break it all down and give you a super clear roadmap for success. Okay, let's dive right in. The College Board has totally flipped the script. The old paper and pencil SAT, it's gone. We're now in the era of the fully digital format. And trust me, this is way more than just a simple facelift. It's a whole new test. So what's actually different? Well, for starters, the new digital SAT is shorter, which is great news. It's more streamlined. They've combined the reading and writing sections into one, and they've cut down the number of math questions. But the real game changer? These things called adaptive modules.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The test literally adapts to you. So everybody starts off with a similar mix of questions in the first section. But then, depending on how well you do there, the test will either give you an easier second section or a harder one. And this is so important, because getting that harder second module is your only path to those top-tier scores.
Now that you know the new format, let's get to what you're really here for, the scores. What even is a good score on this new test? The scale is still 400 to 1600, but figuring out where you stand is absolutely the first step to crushing your goals.
Let's start with the baseline. What's the national average? According to the College Board, it's a 1050. So if you score that, you're right in the middle of the pack, perfectly average. It's a decent starting point, for sure. But we're aiming higher, right?
Okay, so let's put that 1050 into perspective. Once you hit 1200, you're in the top quarter of all test takers. That's a good score, and it makes you a solid candidate for a lot of great universities. If you can push that up to the 1350 range, now you're in the top 10%. That's excellent. But for those of you aiming for the most elite schools, you really want to be in that exceptional tier, which means 1400 and up.
But what if you're aiming for the very, very top? We're talking about the most competitive, prestigious universities in the country. Well, for those schools, the expectations are just on a completely different level.
Just look at that number for a second, 1550. And get this, that's not the goal score. That's the average score for a student who gets into MIT. It's a pretty powerful reminder that for these top schools, being in the top 5% is really just the price of admission.
And hey, it's not just MIT. Take a look at the score ranges for these other top-tier universities. You see that pattern? The vast majority of students they accept are scoring in the high 1400s to the high 1500s. This band of scores is called the middle 50%, and that's your target zone. So what exactly is this middle 50%? Think of it this way. It's the score range for the middle half of all the students who got in. It's the sweet spot. If you can get your score into that range, or even better, above it, you are officially in the game. You're a competitive applicant. Now, I know, seeing those numbers can be a little bit daunting, but seriously, do not let them discourage you. A high score isn't just about being a genius, it's about having a smart strategy. So let's talk about how you can build a game plan to hit your goal. Here it is, your 5-step plan. First, make a study plan and actually stick to it. Give yourself a good 3 to 6 months. Second, you have to take full-length practice tests to build up your stamina. Third, and this one is huge, analyze your mistakes. Keep an error log so you know exactly what to work on. Fourth, get your timing down. You've got about 70 seconds per question on reading and writing and a little more for math. And finally, number 5, please use the official resources from the College Board. They are, by far, the best practice you can get. Okay, and here is a pro tip that could seriously boost your score. Unlike the old test, the new digital SAT has no penalty for wrong answers. That's right. So what does that mean? It means you should never, ever, ever leave a question blank. Always take a guess. You have absolutely nothing to lose and points to gain. So before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final, really important thought. Your SAT score matters. It does. But it's not everything. It's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle that is your college application. So what's the bottom line? Let's recap. The digital SAT is a brand new, adaptive test. A score over 1200 makes you competitive pretty much anywhere. For those top 20 schools, you really need to be shooting for that 1450 to 1550 range or even higher. Your best friend in this whole process is a structured study plan. And always remember, your score is important, but it is just one part of your story. Okay, so there you have it.
You've got the knowledge, you've got the tools, and you have the roadmap. You know what it takes to get where you want to go. So the only question left is, what are you going to do about it? What's your first move?